Welcome back, Guardians. And today we talk about Rasputin, one of the most famous Warminds, if not the only one that you actually do know. And there's a reason behind that. He's very important to the story. In fact, he's the reason why there actually still are Guardians, humans, anything actually today. The way he did it though, protecting everyone, is not the best way. It was the last resort, and it's one of the things where you look at either the survival of everyone or the survival of the species itself. Which one do you choose? Do you choose humanity or do you choose yourself? I'll get into that. First of all, what is a Warmind? You might be asking yourself if you're unfamiliar with lore. Well, a Warmind is pretty much just a very powerful artificial intelligence, far beyond humanity. They do everything flawlessly. They go through hundreds of simulations. In fact, they're so complex that not even Vex can simulate them in their head. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go ahead and watch the history of the Vex. There was quite a number of Warminds that were built during the Golden Age, but Rasputin is the name that we all know. The reason why Warminds were so powerful is because they had eyes all over the solar system at all times. You may have seen these things before fall from the sky, warsats, or public events. These were what allowed the Warminds to monitor the entire solar system. During the Golden Age, humans sent them up into space and had them travel around, where Warminds could tap into these things, give them information, and pretty much have a complete 100 surveillance of the entire solar system 24/7. Warminds were mainly used for war, therefore the Warminds. It's pretty simple, I think you got it. So they would do a lot of simulations for wars, tactics, strategy, and this is where Rasputin comes in, because during the Golden Age, towards the end of it, prior to the collapse, Rasputin was the first Warmind to pick up this strange thing coming in from outside. He ran a bunch of simulations and saw that everything he would do to it was ineffective. Any tactic, anything he knew in his entire database to stop this, slow it down, anything did not work. In fact, it would give him a percentage of probability of failure, and everything he did was 100% probability of failure. Imminent extinction of the entire human race all over the solar system. This led to the protocol known as Midnight Exigent, which is a program for long-term survival. He abandoned all previous functions, which was to protect humanity at all costs, but this was much bigger than anything he could have thought of. So Rasputin went dark. He also, during that time, ordered all remaining forces to do the same. But the thing about AIs, more importantly, Warminds, they're unbelievably smart and they have their own personality pretty much. So Warminds could have their own secrets, and Rasputin had his own. He was doing preparations by himself. One of the protocols was Abhorrent Imperative, which, if humanity was threatened with extinction and the Traveler attempted to leave, Rasputin would not allow it to happen. Rasputin knew the Traveler was important to humanity's survival, so what he did was he pointed everything he had at the Traveler. This was after the darkness had come and gone. He did not want the Traveler to leave. This was his protocol. If the Traveler wants to leave, Rasputin will shoot everything at the Traveler, causing it to go into a pseudo-altruistic defensive action. The Traveler would be forced to protect humanity if it wanted to survive. Kind of like the Traveler wants to become better. It wants to survive. The Traveler helped humanity. Humanity has to help the Traveler. But the Traveler can just up and leave whenever it wants, or it thought it could. And now Rasputin knows that the Traveler can just up and leave. In fact, it's done that to other races. It's done that to the Fallen. It's upped and left and gone. But we have Rasputin. Rasputin is the guardian angel of all the Guardians. He's protecting us from 100% extinction because, like I said probably about 10 times now, the Traveler could just leave. Also, to go on top of that, even before the collapse, Rasputin was always stockpiling weapons in the Cosmodrome. And the funny thing is that some humans actually did suspect him of doing such things, which is weird to think about, because a human's seeing a robot doing its own thing. It's kind of a scary thought. There is the entire Rasputin protocol list that I was going through during the time of the collapse, or the pre-collapse, if you want to say, the events leading up to the collapse. How about that? The first thing he sends out is saying this is a sky shock alert. Transient near extrasolar event. This means that something is coming near the solar system. Event duration 0.3 seconds. Bootstrap simulation suggests event is directed and inimicable. Sources Blue Shift suggest imminent solar entry. Promote event to Skyshock OCP extinction. This is raising Skyshock up to Skyshock level extinction. Like I said, humanity 100% extinction. Activate Veluspa. Activate Yuga. I'm invoking Karai White and assuming control of solar defenses. Stop, stop, stop. V letters. Those were the log entries leading up to the collapse. Stop, stop, stop was up to the very last point, to where he pretty much just shut down. In fact, in a different Grimoire card completely, it talks about how in the last couple of seconds he declared Yuga Sundown, like I said, effective on receipt, cancel counterforce objectives, cancel population protection objectives, format moral structures for Midnight Exigent. Canceling population protection objectives, like I just said, is when he just completely got rid of all morals for the protection of humanity. Because a robot or an AI has to do its job. But when it's smart and it knows about itself and it can change its thinking, it made himself think differently so that he wouldn't have to do everything in his power to protect humanity, because he knew it would be pointless. He could not protect humanity. So he rewrote himself, canceled the protection objectives. He formatted his moral structures differently so that Midnight Exigent could be carried out, which was to shut down, pretty much hunker down until it was all over. The last line for this one says, execute long hold for reactivation. And this is where you come in, Guardian. You were the one to reactivate Rasputin, if you remember this. Rasputin was able to reconnect with the old interplanetary defense network, reassuming control of the warsats and ground installations, and also launching a series of orbital strikes against the Vex and Cabal on Mars. This actually led up to Valis Ta'ark himself ordering the Scion Flares to be released and track Rasputin. Besides the Scion Flares, Rasputin has actually faced a number of direct threats to himself. Omnigul accessed the bunker through unknown means and attacked Rasputin, if you remember that mission. It was either to destroy him or corrupt him, but either way is for the worse of humanity. Later, a group of Taken also penetrated into Rasputin's bunker to prevent the Guardians from obtaining the Golden Age stealth technology. And then there was a third time, which somehow the Fallen attempted to hijack Rasputin's systems using the modified Shank Saber 2. Knowing that the bunker's defenses have failed him too many times, Rasputin triggered the Aikilos subroutine, an initiative to provide advanced weaponry to the Guardians and aid them against the forces of the darkness. The end result of Aikilos was the Sleeper Stimulant, with a unique core based on the obsolete Dalvin Forge fusion rifles that the Warminds had armed humanity with during the Golden Age. So yes, Rasputin has had a very long history, and all of it, through the successes, mostly failures, led up to you obtaining the Sleeper Stimulant. And in my video, 10 Unanswered Questions About Destiny, I did say that the Traveler could up and leave. That was a mistake on my part, as you do know now. The Traveler can't do that. He's stuck here, whether he wants to or not, to protect us. Maybe one day the Traveler will leave. Rasputin has had a terrible track record of failures. 3 times enemies have broken into him, and 3 times the Guardians have had to save him. Although this worked out in our favor, we did get the Sleeper Stimulant. I don't know if you like the weapon or not. Some people might not even ever use it. But maybe the Traveler will try and leave, and maybe Rasputin won't be able to protect us. But that's enough about how bad Rasputin is. Let's talk about how good Rasputin is. He did sort of protect us, in a way. Kind of, actually. I don't really think it was that good, come to think of it. Rasputin kind of gave up on us, looking back at it. Although it's not his fault. It's not like he didn't try. He did run hundreds of simulations, thousands probably. But 100% probability of failure, there's no point in trying. So Rasputin went to the final protocol, Midnight Exigent, and just hunkered down and waited. That ushered in the collapse. All through the collapse, the City Age finally came to be, and the Guardians resurrected Rasputin. And that's where we are today. Rasputin still has a lot to offer with story. He holds a lot of secrets, and some of them could be related to our dear old friend Cade 6, which some people believe could be Rasputin, but that's a whole nother story for a different time. That's been it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, Guardians.